Morning everybody, welcome back to the allotment. Today is a day I'm going to give you, and a big thank you to everyone that when I asked for little ideas for videos, I'm going to give you 4 or 5 vital tools that I think are essential for me and possibly for you as well. And I think with the coming up to the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday and Christmas, these might be something you can just tuck a little away and impress your partner. As we come up to the, most of you know now, my garden is a raised bed, no dig garden. So the tools I use aren't necessarily the tools most people use or recommend as essential tools. Obviously, traditional garden, it's your spade, your rake, things like that. But with the no dig garden, the whole layout's changed, and most of the time I can do the big work with your hands. You can kind of fill up a bucket of compost, you can plant in, move the soil around. The soil's lovely condition to kind of just plant in. You don't even need a trowel most of the times. So these are my essential tools, must-haves for a no-dig garden, and there's not one over £35, so there's a bargain as well. Before we kind of go into the details, these are tools, these aren't items. What I class as an item, let's just show you here, is something like me tool box, me seed box. That's an item. So I will do like 4 or 5 essential items another time, but these are tools, little tools. So my first little essential one is snips. Now you wouldn't think, why would you want these in your garden? But these have saved me so much time, purely on the thought or on the basis of cutting the cable ties. Everybody knows cable ties are essential, but these were just like a pair on Amazon, and I basically got them for the colour. I'll put the link onto everything, but they've turned out to be a cracking pair, and I've left these out in the rain, I've dropped them. I've dropped every tool I get, but they just seem to survive, and they've survived some tough old challenges as well. So them are just, I've tried cutting them off and everything like that, but these snips just take the cable ties. I think that, in your tool collection is essential. Right. So the next little bit of kit that I kind of constantly grab for in the garden is a knife. Now this knife was recommended actually by this company by one of the viewers of YouTube, Moraklin, is that how you pronounce it there? And I've had this now for a couple of years, and it's just great, and I've even sharpened it a couple of times. It's got a lovely rubber grip. That you don't slip at all with that grip. And like I say, I've sharpened it a few times there. The blade, every blade blunts, but it had a great sharp edge on it. But it was great, and it is great for cutting, say, the roots off turnips, or cutting back like the roots off any kind of veg. It just gets in there, cutting string, cutting wire. I've cut everything with it, and like probably the 4 tools that I'm recommending, it's been left out. It's weatherproof, it's bulletproof when it comes to that. This knife is just, you can see the state of it, it's been through, I've used it on the bills, on the polytunnel. I've even used it probably on the beds, like doing beds, cutting pipes, even just like marking a blue line on a pipe, just to cut it. This thing is just so handy, can't live without them. So the next item, or the next vital little item in my collection, is these Fiskar Scissors. Now I didn't know, and I remember these scissors, or this style of scissor, from when I was a kid, but I cannot say how many times I've reached for these scissors and used them. And even, that's why I brought you in here, just so you can see, cutting like salad leaves, just getting a nice clean cut with, it's just, and these blades never blunt, to be honest. They're just, and these are gardening ones. Again, I'll put a link below, But I've cut everything with them, everything from, like say, this matting in there to actually the the plastic in the polytunnel, and it just glides, you know, when you're cutting plastic like this, because I say it doesn't lose its edge. It just cuts. When we had to do, say, the doors, and you have to, you know, do the kind of, you just open the scissors up, you know, just like that, and just guide them up. And it's like going through butter, you know. It's just, and then even cutting, you know what I mean, cutting veg, getting veg, let's say, like say a spring onions, you can actually see there, I've been just cutting the tops and trying to getting like 2 lots of growth from a spring onions, you know. It's these scissors that I use for that. These are just to have in your arsenal on as a gardener, and especially as a no-dig gardener, just amazing. So I think you'd probably guess what my number one is. If you've been watching this channel a while and seeing the way the items that I've picked have progressed, the number one is my Fiskar Scissors. These are unreal how good they are. These are the PX94, and I'll put a link under them. These are, and especially for the older generation, they've got this like pivot grip, which I don't know if I'm demonstrating it as good there, but it's like on a ball and it moves around. I don't know if you can kind of see the gear cogs there, but it's, again, never lost its blade, never lost anything. They have been, well, you know, I've lost these a few times in the garden, and then just went back and picked them up. I've put, over the time, I put a little bit of, like say, WD-40 on the blade there, but I just love this company. They're just, well, they've took like a traditional tool, an old-fashioned tool almost, and just modernized it up and put some modern technology into it, you know. I mean, I've got an axe by them, I've got the scissors by them. I love this company, and they're not affiliated, you know. I mean, these will be affiliated links, but I'm nothing to do with Fiskars. Just I like the quality of the, and it's like, say, when you've been, you know, you're cutting off like big chunky roots, it does ache your hands, but because of this ball action, it's remarkable, to be quite honest. I love them, absolutely love them. So these are my number one essential garden tools, and I think these might be on Amazon at £30 and 50 pence, something like that. And like I say, you know, I've left them in the rain umpteen times over the years, you know what I mean. But I think these, for me, more than, say, the traditional ones, you know, because the traditional ones will just hurt my fingers, you know, especially when you're cutting big old gnarly roots off, and these go through any root, do you know what I mean? These, I mean, these are going to be like tree trunks once, you know, kind of the season's out. But this, I'll just show you actually down. I'm not going to cut the root, but, you know, it'll just take a couple of cuts to get through that, and I'll leave the root in, and they're great, you know. They get into the ground and they just snip off your root or plant or whatever. Fantastic. So they are my 4 essential, vital must-haves for like a no-dig garden. Yes, I could pick a shovel, I could pick a rake, but I don't. You've seen how many times I use them kind of things, but with these, the 4 little ones, constantly, you know, they're the ones that I'm kind of grabbing for all the time. Anyway, look after yourselves, take good care.